Good afternoon and welcome to the Spring 2019 Sci-Fi Chapter Induction Ceremony. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, College President Dr. Lawrence Barrett, and the faculty and staff of Florida Gateway College, we welcome you. My name is John Hawes, and I am the co-advisor for the Sci-Fi chapter of Phi Theta Kappa. Today, we are here to celebrate the outstanding academic achievements of some very special people in your lives. Please stand and welcome our chapter officers and the Spring 2019 Sci-Fi chapter inductees.
You may be seated. My name is Kristen Casperson, and I am the co-advisor for the Sci-Fi chapter of Phi Theta Kappa. I'd like to introduce our chapter officers. Chapter President, Allie Richardson. Chapter Treasurer, Sarah Mahalko. And Chapter Secretary, Carly Nist.
Good afternoon. I'm pleased to introduce our guest speaker for today, Mr. Dan Hartley. Dan Hartley was born in Jacksonville, Florida in 1966 and grew up in Baker County. He graduated from Baker County High School in 1984. He briefly attended then Lake City Community College through the summer of 1984. Later that year, he enlisted in the United States Army and trained at Fort Benning, Georgia with the 101st Infantry. While in basic, he suffered an injury that ended his military training. He returned to Baker County and attended Lake City Community College. While there, he was nominated by the faculty of the college for the Who's Who in American Junior Colleges. In 1991, he graduated from the Police Academy and served several years with the Baker County Sheriff's Office, starting out in the jail, where he was promoted to 911 operator and eventually worked undercover with the Narcotics Division before leaving the Baker County Sheriff's Office. He graduated from nursing school in 1995 and spent the past 24 years working in various aspects of healthcare, to include travel nursing, emergency room, operating room, hospice, home care, critical care, and cardiac care. He also worked on 2 major motion pictures as a set nurse. As an instructor for the American Red Cross, he taught CPR, first aid, and certified nursing assistant training. While in Orlando, Florida, he served as the clinical director for foreign national nursing students. Later, he was the clinical manager for 3 separate correction facilities in Tennessee and served as a reserve deputy sheriff for the Anderson County Sheriff's Office. In 2013 through 14, while living in Tennessee, he was a candidate for the United States Congress in Tennessee's District 1. He returned to Florida in 2016, where he worked for the Department of Corrections as a nurse. In July of 2018, he retired from nursing to assist Chuck Brannon with his campaign for the Florida State House of Representatives. In December 2018, he was appointed by Representative Brannon to serve as his district aide. Mr. Hartley now works for Chuck Brannon, the newly elected state representative. He is employed through the Florida House of Representatives and serves the people of District 10, which covers Baker, Columbia, Hamilton, Suwannee, and a portion of Alachua County. He occasionally travels to the state capitol assisting Representative Brannon, but spends most of his time in the district. Mr. Hartley is married to his college sweetheart, Melissa, whom he met right here at FGC more than 33 years ago. They have 3 children, Emily, Caroline, and Thomas, and spend most of their free time exploring Florida's natural parks, springs, and Walt Disney World whenever they can. So now, Mr. Hartley.
Thank you. Wow, that sounded like a lot. Don't get confused. I'm not that important, I promise you. I would like to thank Ms. Kristen Casperson for allowing me this opportunity to address you and the students and the family, also Dr. Barrett and the college here. For years, this college was Lake City Community College to me back in the day when we still wrote on stone. And I haven't been in this building in, gosh, 30-something years. So it brings back a lot of memories for me. My name is Dan Hartley. I am the District Executive Aide to State Representative Chuck Brannon. Representative Brannon has asked me to congratulate you on your induction and express his deepest regrets that he could not be here today. He's very proud of each of you and wishes you all the very best. I asked myself what I could say to you today that would inspire you or cause you to reach deep within yourself and raise yourself up to a greater standard. There are many men and women who have given great speeches. Lincoln with the Gettysburg Address, Kennedy and his famous Ask What You Can Do for Your Country, and of course, Ronald Reagan, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. Each spoke to a generation of students, men and women, those individuals who would dream and build empires and conquer their fears, men and women who would take the reins of power and shape a nation. Today, our nation is no different than when Lincoln addressed a distressed people, divided by political and ideological ideas. Today, we face the challenges of a country divided and a people burdened with fear. You sit here today, part of a consortium of intellectuals, leaders, and conspirators of change, staring your future directly in the face, challenging the norms and the expected, and creating new environments where learning can flourish. Each of you are the future, connected like a link in a strong chain, reaching together to be the strength of a nation, a people defined by their desire to increase their knowledge. I see young men and women who will gather their minds together and help turn the tide of education and application for as many that will listen. Often I am concerned with the future as I look out into the cosmos of people, that sea of humanity that puts a high price on popularity, all the while sacrificing education and learning. You are my hope. You are the light on a hill that cannot be extinguished. You are the brightest of minds that faces their challenges head on and stands in defiance of ignorance. You are the true north, keeping us all within the confines of intelligence and trust. You are the avant-garde. You are stronger, smarter, and more determined than most. This is why you are here today. You have shown that you are dedicated to truth and learning. You're not weak. You're not afraid. You will not go quietly into that night. You are not defined by your age or your sex, but by the power that knowledge brings. You are the future of mankind. You will slip the bonds of this generation, of the generations behind you, and make this generation your own. I am confident that who is before me today are the leaders, movers, and shakers of my future, your future. I am reminded with each generation that there are those who will assume control, those honorable men and women empowered with intelligence and restraint, who with character and determination will guide us through difficult times and eventually into peace. Individuals who are filling the roles of great men and women, in that knowledge alone, I am prepared to step aside and allow you, knowing that you will safely pilot this nation towards the new horizon just beyond the sunset of my life, where my generation can finally rest. Rest on our weary shoulders and lay down our heavy burdens, for you are at the helm of this ship we call a nation. A strong captain that can withstand the storms of life and charter us into the sunset of our fate with strength, power, intelligence, and maturity. You can go further, reach higher, and be greater. You have proven you can set goals, meet challenges, and achieve greatness. You are part of the power of our past. You are the catalyst with influence and impact. You can change our world for a better tomorrow, a brighter tomorrow. You are the force of our future, learning, leading, serving, and completing. You are Phi Theta Kappa. Thank you, and may God bless you, and may He make His face to shine down upon you and give you peace.
Honored Xi Phi Chapter President and fellow Phi Theta Kappa members, I am pleased to present to you these candidates for membership in our Honor Society. These students have fulfilled all requirements for membership and have been selected because they have chosen scholarship, leadership, service, and fellowship as their hallmarks. I recommend them for acceptance into the Xi Phi chapter of the Phi Theta Kappa International Honor Society of the two-year college. You are about to be inducted into a scholarly fellowship which embraces two-year colleges not only of your own state, but of the nation and the world. This fellowship is Phi Theta Kappa and your chapter is Xi Phi. After induction, you will find among the members an atmosphere of scholarship to which you must give of yourself in order that the organization may be meaningful to you. Our ideals may be expressed in the words of Sir Francis Bacon in his essay of Studies. Studies serve for delight, for ornament, for ability. Their chief use for delight is in privateness and retiring, for ornament is in discourse, and for ability is in the judgment and disposition of business. Read not to contradict and confuse, not to believe and take for granted, nor to find talk and discourse, but to weigh and consider.
Phi Theta Kappa torch is symbolic of knowledge. The white rose is an example of the purity and beauty of life, with its white buds signifying intellectual associations. You will be presented with a white rose as a symbol of our newly formed intellectual friendship. And now, back to our president, Allie Richardson.
The emblem of Phi Theta Kappa is a golden slab, keyed at the top and bottom. The golden field, like the shield of our coat of arms, refers to the golden opportunities that abound on every hand for society members to evidence their culture and perform good works. Since gold is the most noble of metals, it shall have a further significance to our society, for it shall represent the nobility attained by those who achieve intellectual leadership. Across the slab, you will observe a black band. It represents the three ideas which band us together, and the cultural self-control, which is necessary foundation for true wisdom, aspiration, and purity. Shining through the black enamel background are the three Greek letters, which are the initials of those three Greek words meaning wisdom, aspiration, and purity. Behind the band is a wreath on the one side composed of oak leaves and on the other laurel. The oak leaves stand for stability and strength of character, as symbolized by the sturdy oak. The graceful curling of leaves of the laurel signify achievement and success, all attributes for membership in our society. Above the band is the representation of the head of Athena, a symbol of learning. In the base appear the Greek letters meaning light, the light of knowledge and learning, the common ideal for members of Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society. This badge stands as a symbol for the high idealism of our organization and membership in our select group. The purpose of PTK is to foster a spirit of devotion to study and to scholarly ideals among its members, and whose principles are embodied in the Greek letters, which stand for wisdom, aspiration, and purity. Now that you have heard the standards and ideals of this organization, it is time to complete the pledge, which admits you into complete fellowship. So if y'all will all stand for me and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly promise on this 9th day of April to uphold the standards of Phi Theta Kappa and to keep this object and aim in mind. And I do solemnly pledge allegiance to my fellow members and promise to aid them in all worthy endeavors. I now call on you to approach and sign our chapter record book. The first row, yep. Come on, don't be shy.
I'm not. I just didn't know who was first.
Tristan Jewell. Janet Miller, Demi Jones, Ellie Sahar Wallison, Brandy Lee, Kamaya Bennett, James Head, Cooper Robinson, Anastasia Dunning, Caitlin Priest, AJ Kiai, Emily Flugrath, Carson Cunningham, Gianna Godevs, Julia Godevas, Brianna Stevens, Sierra McKinney, Jordan Mobley, Caitlin Beliski, Marissa Congressi, Sydney Touchstone, Brandon Cooley, Delaney Riley, Caitlin Osteen, Christy Daly, Caitlin O'Sullivan, Caleb White, Jairo Delos Trinos, Whitley Summerlin, Bethany Harris, Mackenzie Conklin, Ann Hawes,
It is my pleasure to welcome you into the Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society and the lively fellowship of scholars that it affords. I salute you for your accomplishment. I charge you to always explore for truth and to dedicate yourselves to the cultivation of a well-reasoned life, a prelude to service and honor. I would like to thank our audience of family members, friends, current Phi Theta Kappa members, and faculty and staff of Florida Gateway College for helping honor our newest members of Phi Theta Kappa. I would also like to thank our special guest speaker, Mr. Dan Hartley. New PTK members, please stand. The recessional will now begin. Please join us in fellowship for some refreshments immediately following this ceremony. Thank you for coming and have a wonderful evening.